Hey everyone, it's Daniela. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Chronicles of a Reseller. I'm Daniela. I'm a part-time reseller. I sell on Poshmark and eBay. And today we're just going to vlog and then we're going to sit down and chat about what's going on. I've been a little absent from YouTube and I wanted to kind of bring you guys up to speed on what I've been doing and things that have been working for me, what hasn't been working for me. Right now we are hitting up some different thrift stores within the area, so I'm going to be going out of state, in state, just all the way around. Now I live in Rhode Island, so going out of state doesn't mean I'm going that far. So I will check back in. I'll try to take some footage in the thrift store, but some of these thrift stores are iffy about that stuff. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but let's go. So I just left one thrift store, and I come frequently to this one. The ladies know me really well. I actually just put out an Instagram post. This will be last week because when I'm filming this. Anyway, so I recently put on an Instagram post about becoming friendly with your thrift store employees, getting to know them, knowing their sales schedule, knowing the color tag schedule, all that kind of stuff. And in this particular thrift store, I'm very friendly with the staff members, and they know me by name, and we have a really great time. So there was a brand new Kate Spade dress, new with tags, that had just come off of their truck, and I saw it. So I asked the woman who usually prices the items if I could have that dress for anywhere between $10 to $15, and she said yes. So that was great. Super excited about that. Comps in the dress are anywhere between like 65 to 120 or so. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's the only thing I bought though, and it's fine because it was totally worth it. On to the next. I'm striking out. Yeah. I went to 3 other locations, and I didn't get to film, which is fine, but I'm striking out. So I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go in and see my grandmother and have a cup of coffee with her, and then we will try 2 more locations, and then we're going to sit down and chat. So I didn't find much. I just didn't have any luck, and that's fine. That's like the whole part of being a reseller and thrifting and all that fun stuff, right? Like, you're gonna find stuff sometimes, and then you're not gonna find anything other times, because that's just how it works. I found a lot of Bowden, a lot of Madewell. That's really it, and that's fine. Like, that stuff sells for me, so I'm excited about that. I found a couple of Marc Jacobs pieces, and yeah, nothing else that really stands out. There were some Lafayette, that came out really weird, Lafayette 148 pants. They were white, which is always scary, and I examined them really well, but there were some stains on there that I definitely can't get out no matter what I do. So I left those, and yeah, that's really nothing super exciting. I'm gonna go inside now. It's time to photograph, list, do all that stuff, inventory. I'm going to do a deep dive into my data. I want to sit down and talk to you guys about how I've changed my sourcing and how it's affected my sell-through rates and my average sale price and all that fun stuff. So this video is going to be a little bit of vlogging, which you guys already saw. It's a little bit of just me sitting down and talking to you, and a little bit of data, because I think data is really important to understand. I think it's super important to know what sells for you. I think it's important to know what your average sale price is and what your goal is. If you have a monthly goal of what you want to hit, then you need to make sure that your average sale price gets you to what that goal is. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to share my data, which I use Sarah Styles LLC. You can find her here on YouTube and Instagram. I use her dashboard. And she has various dashboards. So she has an inventory dashboard, a sales dashboard, and then a new one that just came out, and I can't remember the name of it, so I'm sorry. But I am going to link it all for you guys in the description below so that you can check it out yourself. So I do have an affiliate link, and that's the link that we'll be putting in the description. Full disclosure on that. But I stand behind Sarah's product. I wouldn't promote it if I didn't love it and use it, and I use it all the time. So this new dashboard is a little bit more of a deep dive into cost of goods and just kind of looking at all the financial aspect of everything with all the items that you have. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at it all. Um, and kind of go from there. And then hopefully it will inspire you to start tracking and looking at your data because it's not the fun part of reselling, right? The fun part of reselling is buying the stuff and then flipping it. Like that's the fun stuff. Um, but data can also be fun. And I think the more you understand your data and the more you kind of see where you are in your reselling business, the better reseller you become and the more your business grows. And at the end of the day, that's what you really need to be focusing on. So let's go inside and continue the conversation in there.
Okay, so let's sit down and let's talk about my data. So over the last, I want to say 6 or 7 months, I've really taken the time to understand what sells for me, at what price point, what my goal is, what I want to make per week and per month, and how I can get to that goal by using my data. So, how I originally started doing this was I met Sarah from Sarah LLC, and we kind of got talking about her dashboard, and I got it and I started trying it out. And this was her original 2 dashboards. So it's just the inventory and then the sales report. And I really took that information. And this was back in January, I think. I think it was January, December or January. And I looked at all of my sales from March of last year, so March 2019 to December 2019. And I looked at all the data. I looked at what was selling. I looked at what my typical sale price was for items, what brands are doing well, just all of that. I really wanted to see what I've been doing my first year of reselling part-time. So, after doing all that, I set some goals for myself. I made a list of brands that do really well for me, and that's what I started focusing on in January. Fast forward, a pandemic happened. Cats will appear in these videos all the time, so I hope you enjoy seeing my cats. Anyway, so pandemic happened. There was some bumps in the road. I'm a state worker, so work got really crazy and still is crazy. So there's a lot of components that have kind of put a bump in the road, right, when it comes to my sales. But I was surprised to see when I downloaded Sarah's newest dashboard, which is the sales and the trends within my Poshmark closet, I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought. So I was very, very surprised. I was very pleased, very proud of myself that even though the last 6 months have been tough for everyone, and I felt like I wasn't moving forward in my business from like March to now, really, I actually am, and I'm doing so well, and I really want to keep that momentum going. So I have my computer up right over here, so you can't see it, but I have the dashboard up. So here's a tip about Sarah's dashboard, her newest dashboard that she just came out with that shows you the sales and the trends. It does require a little bit of work on your end. So you can take your inventory report and your sales report on Poshmark, and you can input that into the master spreadsheet for all of this. That's what I did just to kind of get a basic idea. I do have a separate spreadsheet, which I will be entering in to this as well, where I have a little more detailed data in it. So basically, I'm just going to pull this up so I can kind of explain it a little bit better to you. So there's 2 files that's 4, not 2. There are 2 files that you get when you purchase Sarah's dashboard. And the first one is the one that requires the most work. So this is where you're going to be importing your inventory data. So let me just open that up really quick so I can kind of explain it. So within the inventory data, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have a master list. You're going to have a list where you can manipulate the data, and then you have a custom data list. You'll see it all if you purchase it, and Sarah has a video that goes along with it as well. So I'm not going to go too detailed into it because her video is really great when you purchase it, and she's always accessible to everyone, so you can always reach out to Sarah. But basically, this list compiles all of the necessary information for the dashboard. So listing date, number of days that the item was listed, a SKU if you have a SKU, I don't. Listing title, department, category, subcategory, brand, color, size. Let me scroll over. Color, size, if it was new with tags, what the condition was, how many likes were on it. Like I have all of that stuff from the inventory report. So all of that was on there. The cost price. That's the one thing I haven't added in this yet because I just downloaded this yesterday. So today what I'm going to do after this video is done is I'm going to input all of the cost of goods of everything so that I can see my analysis of cost of goods. So what I'm going to be sharing through today is purely the sales and brand aspect of it. But there is a whole cost of goods section to this. What the lowest listing price was for the item, what the current listing price is, and any other information. So I imported what I did just so that I could create this video and kind of give you an idea, and just so I could get an idea of what my data looked like without going really deep into it. I will take the time to do that later on. But right now I just kind of wanted to give you guys something to go off of. So I took my inventory report, I put that all in, then I took my sales report from January to today, present day. So today is June 25th. And I put all of that in, same type of deal. You take all this data that you're manipulating it, you're putting into a master list, you're copying the master list, and then you're going to your sales and trends report, and you're inputting all of that information to the spreadsheet. Once you do that, it will start populating all of your data. Now, it's very important to make sure you have good data, and Sarah explains this as well. You really want to make sure that your data is as accurate as possible because it gives you a better picture as to what's going on. So you can add in your eBay sales, your Mercari sales, your Tradesy sales, all those sales. I'm not doing that. I'm just using this for Poshmark right now because that is my main focus at the moment. That's where I generate the most sales, and I really want to perfect my system the best way that I can so that I can be successful. So I just pulled up my year-to-date summary. So I'm just going to read off some numbers. Now, I don't want anyone to feel like they're not doing well if their numbers don't look like this. I don't want anyone to feel like like I'm bragging. This is not the case. I am just sharing information, and you also need to realize this is gross profit. This is not net. So this is before any fees, I shouldn't say before fees because fees are included in this, but before anything like extra things like poly mailers, like all that kind of stuff, my time, which I also calculate into my revenue. So this is before all that. So my gross revenue from January 2020 to today, June 2020, is $8,693. I was very happy with that. I've sold a total of 236 items. My average sale price, which made me so happy because my goal last year was to raise my average sale price from $20 to $30. That was my goal. As of today, it is $36.83. That's so good. Like, my ultimate goal, like my high tier goal is I'd like it to be $45, but I am happy with $36.83. That's great. I'm working in the right direction. That makes me feel good that I'm doing the right things. My current active listings is 391. I actually have to change that. I just listed 2 items today and I have to add those in. So it's actually 393, but it's fine. My sell-through rate as of right now today is 37.64%. I want that number to go up. I want my sell-through rate to be like in the 70s. That's what I want. So that's okay. The last 3 months have been extremely slow for me, so I understand. My performance. So after you get your year-to-date summary, you get your performance summary for the last 28 days. So it's a comparison, right? So my gross revenue for the last 28 days is $587, which is down $199 from the last 28 days. My items sold was 22, which is down 2 items. My average sale price is $26.68 in this 28-day period, which is down $6.07. Items listed is up because I'm going to the thrift store, obviously, and I'm sourcing online and being more proactive about that. My items listed is 176, which is up from 62. So that's great. It's up 62. And then my sell-through rate is, for the last 28 days, is 5.63%, which is down 0.51%. The next thing that you'll see, um, the next section is a graph that basically shows your ebbs and flow within your business, right? So this is looking at December, because the way the sales report works is if your item sells, let's say December 30th, and the payment doesn't clear until January, that's going to come up in your sales report as January, even though it's December anyway. January and February were great. I had, according to this graph, I made just about, I'm gonna say like 2,500 for the month in January and 2,500 in February. Then you look at March, and this is when the pandemic first started here. I'm at about 1,500. And then April is below 1,000, and May is below 1,000, and now June is almost to the $1,000 mark. So all really great things. I'm slowly trending back up, so that's good. Let me scroll down here. So there is a section here where it looks at your cost of goods, but because I haven't filled that information out, there's no data that populates for me. So I can't talk about that with you, but there is an area on this dashboard where it talks about your cost of goods and all of that. So later date, I'll talk about that. I just haven't had the time to go through it all, and I was just really excited to share this information with you. Then there's a simulator which shows you, so I put it as a goal for mine that I would make $3,000 a month, which is a high goal, but that is my ultimate goal, is to make $3,000 a month just from reselling. Gross. This is gross. And there's a section where it simulates if you want to make X amount every month, these are the amount of items that you need to sell at this average sale price, and how many active listings you need to have. So that's pretty cool. Then there's another tab, and this is the exciting tab. This is the tab that I like the most, and it's the top 20 categories that sell within your closet. And I have it set to the current 28 days, so I can see in the last 28 days what other brands and categories that sell the best for me. And when I look at this, my top, which I already know this, is shoes, which I knew. Shoes is by far my top selling category. Then it's jeans. I also knew that. Pants and jumpsuits. Okay, I can see that. Bags, tops, accessories, other, which is usually like my home good stuff. Jackets, coats, dresses, and then kitchen appliance type things. And that was just stuff that I had in my house that I just posted. So that, like, I can almost cross that one out. I don't really care about that one. It's interesting to me that dresses falls almost to the last. I mean, if you take away kitchen, it is the last one. I try not to pick up dresses, and then I'm a sucker for them when it's this time of year, and then I end up picking them up. And then they sit, and then I wonder why I picked them up. Dresses just don't sell well, and I just need to be okay with that. The stuff that does sell well for me and that sells quickly are the shoes, the jeans, the bags, the pants. Like, that's what does well, and that's what I need to stick to. And I've definitely focused on that the last 4 months or so. I've really focused on picking up those types of items because that's what works. So I did that. And I just like looking at the graph. It's all color coded. It shows you what the average sale price is of the item. It shows you what the sell-through rate is on it. So I like that aspect of it. The other thing too is it shows you the top 20 categories by gross revenue, and it breaks all that down for you. There's also brands. So I'm just going to read off the brands that are the top for me, and it's Everlane, Madewell. So that's not surprising that Everlane and Madewell are the top two. Then AGL, but the only reason AGL is on that, and this will happen with data, is you kind of have to understand what it is that you're putting in. I only had one item in my closet that was AGL, and it sold. So obviously it's going to make the list because it's the only item that I had on there. So anyway, that's up there, but I can kind of cross that out because that's not a top selling brand I had that item in my closet for 243 days. Apparently I never relisted it. I forgot about it. Um, Two surprising ones that are the next two, Kate Spade and UGG, which I thought was interesting. And then Lululemon. So my top 5 are Everlane, Madewell, Kate Spade, UGG, Lululemon. And then there's more that go on, but I'm not going to bother reading those. But that will also show you in the graph what the average sale price was of it, what the sell-through rate is, what the brand is, and how many you've sold total. So for Everlane, I've sold 10 pieces with an average sale price of $55. And for Madewell, my average sale price is $45, and my sell-through rate is 6.67. And I've sold 15 total pieces of that. If you look to the right of that, it also shows the average days on hand. So the average days on hand for Everlane is 2, and for Madewell is 4. So yeah, those do really well for me. So funny story, when I did this, I hadn't looked at this when I started sourcing online. Like, I didn't do that yet. Since I've done this, though, I've really focused on my online sourcing with the brands that are obviously doing the best for me, and I'm creating bundles, and I'm sourcing online, I'm doing all this. So I could go on and on. There's more aspects of the dashboard, but I don't want to bore you with all of this. Basically, this is a great product, and I think that you should invest in a great product that will help you grow your business. That's really it. End of story. I think you need to invest, whether it's Sarah's dashboard or someone else's dashboard, whatever you decide to invest in, it needs to help your business, and it needs to it just needs to be a great product that brings you to your goals. That's really what it is at the end of the day. It just needs to bring you to your goals. It needs to help break down the data for you so that you can see what's working and what's not working, and so that you can change it. Because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. All right, so why are we talking about this, right? Like, why does it even matter? Besides the fact that data is important. Now seeing this and really looking at all aspects of my business. Sorry, there's a cat rolling around, so it's a little distracting. Seeing all of this, I now know that I can continue sourcing online like I have been for specific brands to buy low and sell high, and I know it's going to work for me. I don't always find Everlane and Madewell in the thrift store. Doesn't always happen. But if I can find it online and flip it, why not do it if it's working for my business and it's creating a flow of revenue at a higher average sale price? I need to do that. That's the only way I'm going to grow. And that's why I'm sharing this with all of you. If you understand and you know your data and you can really pinpoint what it is that works, think about that for a second. That is fantastic. That is how you're going to stand out from everyone else. That's how you're going to get ahead. That's how you're going to have your business grow. You need to do it. I don't care in what capacity you do it, but you need to understand your data so that you don't fall into that slump where, why am I not making sales? I don't understand. I'm picking up all these brands other resellers are talking about, but why isn't it working for me? Because it doesn't work for every reseller, and you need to know what works for you and your business. Because guess what? Everlane and Madewell might sell great for me, but they might not sell for you. Maybe it's mall brands like J. Crew. Well, Madewell's technically a mall brand too. Maybe it's Gap. We'll use Gap as an example. Or Old Navy. Or maybe it's Target. Or maybe it's Nine West. Maybe it's more Macy's type brands that sell best for you. That's fine. There is no right or wrong way to do this. But you'll never know what works for you if you don't actually sit down and take the time to do this work on the back end. Because guess what? This is part of being a reseller too. It's not just going out and finding the items and photographing them and listing them. Of course, that's fun and that's part of the job. But actually knowing the information is also part of your job. Keeping track of inventory is part of your job. Knowing what your cost of goods is part of your job. Knowing what your gross revenue is, what your net income is. All of that is part of your job. It's not just the fun stuff you see on Instagram. Anyway, I feel like I'm ranting, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to come off that way, but I am very passionate about understanding the backstory to everything and not just throwing your hat in a million different areas and hoping that it works. Because sometimes that does work. But for me, who's I'm a very organized, analytical person, so I need to see it. I'm going to retain it and I'm going to go with it. So I can't wait to dive deeper into this. I can't wait to really understand the dashboard even more. I am so excited. So I'm going to have the link to the dashboard in the description below. You can reach out to Sarah yourself and have a conversation with her and, see what dashboard is best for you. This is just one. She has 2 others as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is a long video. I didn't intend it to be this long, but it happens. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, where we have videos here in the Chronicles of the Reseller every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.